Vince McMahon has had some pretty zany ideas over the years, but I can't think of any that are crazier than the time he fought God.
No chance, that's what you got.
So let me take you back to Backlash 2006. Actually, let's go a couple weeks prior to that. Shawn Michaels, arguably one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, left the WWE, came back. He found Christ, he found religion, he was a man of God now. And Vince McMahon, being the sick bastard that he is, decides that he's gonna work this into a storyline. So this rivalry actually stems all the way back to '97 to the Montreal Screwjob where, Vince screwed Brett and blah blah blah. There's a whole episode about it. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch it after this video. It's now 2006, almost a decade later. Vince is still talking about it, and Shawn Michaels, who obviously feels some type of way about it, tells Vince, "Stop it, man, just drop it, just leave it alone." Vince doesn't like being told what to do, and thus begins a rivalry between Shawn Michaels and Vince McMahon, and subsequently Shane McMahon, because he gets grouped in with his pop-pop. That leads to a match between Shawn Michaels and Vince McMahon at WrestleMania. During that match, the Spirit Squad gets involved, Shane McMahon gets involved, all these people get involved on Vince McMahon's behalf, and yet Shawn Michaels still wins the match. Vince declares that Shawn's victory was an act of God. That's the only explanation, is Shawn won because God helped him win. So now we're at Backlash 2006, and it's Vince McMahon and Shane McMahon against Shawn Michaels and a teammate. You think it's Mick Foley? It's not. You think it's Stone Cold Steve Austin? The Undertaker? No chance. It's God. That's right, God Almighty. Before the match, there's some segments backstage that really show how crazy Vince is. He grabs Shane's water bottle and pours it on the ground and starts stomping in it. And he goes, "Look, walking on water, it's not that hard." And then Shane's water bottle is suddenly wine because Vince McMahon is this supernatural, omniscient being all of a sudden, even though he's just a horny old billionaire. There's even one part where Candice Michelle needs healing and Vince McMahon just gropes her boobs and it makes sense. Trust me, Vince McMahon needed to grope her boobs for the storyline, I'm sure. Shane McMahon comes down to the ring, Vince McMahon comes down to the ring, and then there's just the lights go out and harps start playing, obviously, and a spotlight shines on the entrance and starts coming down the ring. And look, I'm not even a religious person, but this felt uncomfortable. Vince McMahon starts berating the spotlight, which is supposed to represent God. And then the spotlight makes its way around the ring, and it makes its way into the ring, and Vince McMahon starts yelling at it, and he forces the referee to go check. He says, "Check God," that there's no foreign object. There's no one standing there. It's a spotlight in the ring. Vince McMahon, you psychopath. So anyways, the match starts. It's basically Shawn Michaels versus the McMahons because, I don't want to say anything that anyone will get offended by, but there's no second wrestler. Let's leave it at that. It's actually a pretty intense match. There's a lot of back and forth. Shawn Michaels puts up a great fight. The Spirit Squad eventually get involved, and the 7 of them, the Spirit Squad and the McMahons, eventually defeat Shawn Michaels, and Vince McMahon gets the pin for the win. And I guess when it's all said and done, Vince McMahon decided that he was going to beat God. And then he did that. It was a pay-per-view. People paid to watch Vince McMahon defeat God. There's a sentence.